And we are going live now.
Grishma, I'm waiting
Yes.
for your cue.
Yes, we can go live now.
Good evening and namaskar to all of you from AECED National. On behalf of the AECED National, I, Purnima Contractor, heading the operations of AECED National, welcome all of you from the different parts of our country and abroad. Yes. From Kashmir to Kerala, from Jaipur in the west to Assam and Manipur in the east. We welcome you to the third series of our yearly spotlight webinar, which we have been having since last 3 years, wherein we are showcasing exemplary practices by organizations so that we can all share our knowledge and create joyful spaces for our children and their caregivers. Now, since we have people joining in from all over the country, some of you know about AECED, and most of you, we would like to share with you what AECED is all about. So can I request Grishma to share the PPT, please? That's us. AECED, Association for Early Childhood Education and Development. We are the national. Next. Well, everybody has a story of their own, and AECED also has a story to tell. We were established in 1964 when nothing was available in the field of ECCE to bring together professionals in the interest of the young child. And we started in New Delhi in Lady Irwin College, Department of Child Development, in the presence of eminent educationists. Well, we were formerly known as IAPE, that was Indian Association for Preschool Education. And that time, as I said, it was all about empowering concerned adults through professional development workshops, refresher courses, annual conferences. Next. We were supported, IAP was supported by NCRT, government functionaries, and eminent educationists. And we were invited by the government to be on various committees related to ICDS, Anganwadis, Balwadis. We were part of the Ram Joshi Commission in Maharashtra, where we had to review their preschool education, as well as train their BMC teachers. But that IAP was about children between 3 and 6. And then there was a huge research coming in about neuroscience and the brain development. And we in IAP realized that we would now have to come out in a new avatar. So in 2008, IAP came under AECED, and we were registered by the Charity Commission as an NGO in the field of early childhood. And today, AECED's mandate, it now includes a right-based approach. And besides working with teachers, we are now working with parents, children, and other stakeholders in the early childhood education, and provide guidance for holistic child development in the 21st century. Well, our work with government functionaries have been at the state level. Next. And we've also worked at the national level, where we were part of the nationwide group to give feedback on draft NEP. Well, in this journey from 1964 till now, we've had prominent educationists who have founded the organization, nurtured it, and made it grow to where we are today. There are innumerable. We are just naming a few today. We had Ganga Sharan Sinha, who was a Rajya Sabha member. We had Mrinalini Sarabhai. We had Amita Verma and Veena Mistry from Baroda. We had Meena Swaminathan and Ananda Lakshmi from Chennai. Meena Swaminathan was behind the formation of ICDS program. And we have Nalini Chugani and Freni Tarapur from Mumbai and Pune. And the list is huge and long, and we owe our gratitude to them for sharing their expertise to bring AECD to where it is today. Well, our national office is situated at the Department of Human Ecology in Mumbai, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and you can see all the various work that the national office does. And we do open, if any of you are interested in your city, in your state, of opening new branches, you're most welcome, and we shall support you. The branches look after all that you can see over here, but mainly on the professional development workshop for early years educators and connecting with parents and having interactions and workshops for them. We also have a newsletter which we send to all our members. We invite you to share any good practices that you have evolved in your school. We have an outreach program for parents, which we are doing in collaboration with Bala Mandir Research Foundation, Chennai, where we have implemented the LTP calendar, which is a pictorial tool developed by Hicks Gilchrist Center, Toronto, Canada, and adapted to the Indian conditions. In case any of you are interested, you can contact us. Our email IDs are given there. Next. 23-24 this year, we are very busy. We have spotlight webinars. We are today in the first one of them for the year 23-24, and we will be showcasing other organizations from India and abroad. We also have a national workshop coming up, on assessment and progress monitoring in foundational literacy, as well as on interactive read aloud techniques. We are also coming up with a roadmap for aspiring ECD professionals, videos on parenting, and now we are in collaboration with University of Auckland, New Zealand on various fronts. Our Mumbai branch is coming up with parenting workshops for the corporate sector titled A Sound Personality and Efficient Employee, and they're getting a lot of inquiries. So if you are in the early years space, you are an educator, you're a researcher, you're in the management, come join us. Let us work together to make this space and let us share our knowledge and make this space really joyful for our children. And for that, we have a membership. Next, yes. Where our membership is 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. You will get all the details from our website. And we have individual membership and institutional membership. Well, you can take a screenshot of this. You can visit our website. You can email us. Or you can contact us. I'm Purnima Contractor, and assisting me today is Grishma Patil as our admin executive. Now, I would like to, this is a little bit about our organization, which is spread all over the country. And we are all working in honorary capacity because we are very passionate about the early years. And today's Spotlight webinar, our moderator for today's Spotlight webinars is Geeta Sikdar. And before I hand over to her, I'd like to introduce her. Geeta Sikdar is the director of NEEV, the Prep School of Vadodara. She is a counselor and a trainer and is one of the founders of URAN, which offers professional development programs for preschool educators. She has been a member of AECD right from the IAPE times. And she's now on the forefront of starting the AECD chapter in Vadodara. So now over to you, Geeta Sikdar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Purnima ma'am, for all the details about the AECD. A wonderful good evening, audience, all the teachers, educators, management, and all the members who are sitting in front after a long day's work to come and learn from our people who are going to share things with us. So today, AECD has invited Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya Nigadi, which is a school based in Pune. And we have Aarati, Bhagyashri, and Kavita from the school to share their exemplary practices that they have been doing for so many years. I'm sure each one of you after an hour is going to go back happy, having learned something new. Though we all do a lot of things in our own classrooms, we always are eager to learn and understand from the other co-colleagues of our country. And I'm sure Aarati, Bhagyashri, and Kavita are going to take us through for next 45 minutes through her school program. Over to you, Aarati.
Yes. Good evening, one and all. Namaste. Myself, Aarati Bijutkar, working in Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya since past 18 years. I now request Anuja Tai to share the PPT
Of our country.
Now I'll start firstly, brief introduction about Jnana Prabodhini. As the name suggests, Jnana Prabodhini means awakener of knowledge. The philosophy of Jnana Prabodhini is of man-making and nation-building education. Holistic development is ensured by addressing the emotional, intellectual, physical, social, and leadership development of the child. Jnana Prabodhini is a multi-faceted institution working in the field of education, research, rural development, women empowerment, youth organization, national integration, so much on our platter. And we work on all the age groups in Jnana Prabodhini. Coming back to Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya, which is a unit of Jnana Prabodhini. Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya is a multi-dimensional center imparting quality education in Pimpri-Chinchwad area since past 42 years. And we believe the philosophy of the school is to explore the potential in every individual. The total school count is of 2,400 students from junior KG to grade 10th. And we have a staff of 200 members serving them. Next slide. The pre-primary section, which we are all going to share about. Our pre-primary section, our 16 staff members impress our 372 beautiful students in the school. The school runs in 2 shifts, from senior KG in the morning shift and the junior KG in the afternoon shift. Shall I continue, Geeta ma'am, with our teaching learning process?
Yes, we are eager to hear you, Aarati.
Yes, something about our practices. Teaching learning process includes our regular practices compromises about the integrated learning. We implement a theme-based approach where the content is interlinked and with domain-appropriate subjects which we have. For the activity-based learning, we have a station rotation model which we are going to know further more in detail. For experiential learning, the 3 main components which we focus on is about the content, where we focus on the subject matter of the curriculum and the context and environment in which the stimulation and the learning process takes place for our kids. Processes is the third aspect in that, where we create learning opportunities through teacher interaction, hands-on activities for our dear students. Like this, all 3 compromise as to be our regular practice about our teaching learning. Next slide, please. As ECC is the most important age group which needs to be focused on. In NEP also, everybody is today speaking about the foundational literacy and numeracy program. Why? Because this age group really forms to be an important developmental stage in our life. One of the most important objects of ECC is school readiness. These domains are overlapping and connected indicators with the child's ability to succeed in the school setting. The competencies related to each domain are achieved by we plan or sequence a unit. Then we plan for the objectives of it. Then we plan the teaching methods or the strategies that we need to implement in a classroom structure. We plan for the learning experiences. We plan for the assessment. And finally, we have a discussion over the learning outcomes which we have achieved. Now, I request Kavita time to narrate about our exemplary practices. Next slide, please.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Mrs. Kavita Kargote, and I'm working as an educator in Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya since past 11 years. Our exemplary practices include theme-based syllabus, Shanti Part, station rotation model, and partnership with the parents. I would like to speak about the theme-based learning. In the theme-based learning, the classes are strategized, are designed to ensure that the domains are addressed in an integrated manner. Next slide. Here I will speak about the flower theme. The motor skills area. In this motor skill area, activities like various arrangements of flowers, making garlands, festoons, these are activities have been held. In the arts area, the children, they do coloring, drawing, they do paper folds. Then we also have field visits. To give a real life experience, we have field trips in the gardens, nursery, to create a relation between the nature. Then we have the literacy area. In the literacy area, for the vocabulary development of the students, songs, stories, dramas, picture reading, language games, these all activities have been taken. And to stimulate the thinking of the skills, we conduct IG games, that is intelligent games for the children. And lastly, in the science, last but not the least, in the science area, the information we give regarding the uses, the names of the flowers. And in the numerical area, the students, they do counting. They make different geometrical shapes. More or less concepts have been cleared. And the learning opportunities for the child have been created through these areas. Next slide. The main festival celebrations. This is the main purpose to convey the gratitude towards nature and community as a whole. The aim of the festival celebration understands cultural heritage and creating learning opportunities to them. Here we have, I'll speak about the Ganesh festival, which is the most important cultural activity in which this which is held in Prabodhini with the participation of parents, teachers, and the students. It is not a mere festive celebration for us, but an opportunity to reach the community as a whole. We plan home visits, field visits to the Ganesh temples which are nearby. And the outcome from this is that the students of this age group, they are participating in various activities like making garlands, making festoons without using needles. Then they do arrangement of flowers and leaves rangolis, and they also recite the Ganesha songs and shlokas. I would like to play a video. Here the students, they are doing the activity of rangoli. They are placing an object and then they are spreading the rangoli on that and making various designs by which their fine motor skills have been developed. Next, our next feature is the Shanti part, which is the main thing of Prabodhini. Shanti part is the main object, and this Shanti part is the experience of peace. It is designed as a quieter activity after the physical activity. I would like to play a video From this video, you all might have observed that it is related to the concentration of students. This experience of Shanti Path is given once in a week and which is effective for the students of 3 to 6 years. The students that sit in a semicircle position, some objects are placed at the side. These objects are placed by the student from one place to another place without making any noise. And then if they place the objects as said, they are being appreciated by the actions. And this activity is conducted in dim light and in total silence. The outcome is that concentration of the students is increased. They get focused. They develop their listening skills and they gain control over their muscles and also experiencing peace. Next slide. Now the main part, that is the station rotation of Prabodhini. The main aim of station rotation mode is all about activity-based learning. Here the learning experience is related to various domains and are arranged in the classrooms. The station rotation is planned on every Friday, where the child rotates from one station to another station. And the stations are like literacy, numeracy, arts, life skills, sensory and perceptual development, physical and gross motor skills. The time span for one station is 20 minutes. Teacher-guided hands-on activities are designed at each station, and the student, he enjoys the process of rotation from one class to another, stimulating their learning experiences. In the literacy area, next slide. The main objective of this station is vocabulary development of the students. Activities like story narration, songs, picture conversation, intellectual games, enacting dramas, etc. come under the station. But only this video we are playing in which only one activity is taken, and that is picture reading. And in station rotation, only one activity is taken. We have just placed the examples. Now comes the numeracy area. The main objective of this area is to develop the numerical skills, and the activities are counting, recognizing the numbers, various numbers games are taken, the mathematical concepts have been also explained. Here the students, they are doing the activity of counting. They are enjoying the activity, they are placing the objects in front of the numbers. And each child is getting that experience, where the concept is totally clear. Next comes the arts area. In the arts, the main objective of the arts area is this development of fine motor skill developments. And here there are various activities like coloring, drawing, paper folds, rangoli, printing, sticking, clay work, etc. Here the students, they are filling rangoli in the design. And by this, their motor skills are developing. They're using all the 5 fingers. Now in the next 3 slides, you can see various activities have been conducted for the fine motor skills, physical and gross motor skill stations. But during the station rotation, only one activity is explored to all the students on the station. In the fine motor skills, here we have arranging the pista shells, flowers, leaves, ice cream sticks, spoons, blocks, stringing beads, sieving slates, use of picky banks. These all things have been used. We are just placing an example that which activities we are taking in this skill. Students are doing in group activities also. Now comes the life skill. Here in the life skills, we have the various activities of peeling, churning, grinding, ironing, sweeping, mopping, sieving, cleaning leafy vegetables, separation of grains we have. We also have making cotton wicks and etc. He is doing the churning activity, sweeping, separation of grains. Now comes the physical and gross motor skills. Soft play gyms for preschoolers come in various forms. The soft play gyms for the preschoolers come in various forms, each designed to provide a safe and stimulating environment for the young children to play and learn. And the benefits of the soft gym offer a range of benefits of building confidence, body balancing, and cooperation. Next slide. Here we have the sensory and perceptual area. The main objective of this area is development of sensory senses, and the activities taken in this area are recognition of different sounds, touch and feel of the books, recognition of different smells, using the magnifying glass, binocular. The children, they're handling it so that they can have an experience. Now to the timetable part. The timetable is designed in the sequence, that is quieter activity after the physical activity, group activity after the individual activity, and then the indoor activity after the outdoor activity. A proper balance between the child initiated or the teacher guided activities are designed with the scope for individual tasks, peer task, group tasks are planned accordingly. The print-rich classroom infrastructure is of stackable tables for the free movement individual needs are catered. And after completing one activity, the child can initiate to another activity. The timetable from Monday to Thursday is the same, but only on Friday we have the station rotation model. Next. Then comes the assessment tools. Assessment is being an ongoing process which is based on day-to-day observations of the behavior during their learning process. And it gives also an insight about the child's interest. This anecdotal records of the students, they are well maintained and they are conveyed to the parents periodically. Anecdotal record includes social, emotional behavior, and the modes of interaction, and also the use of language. And from this, we have a checklist, which is made by the teachers, which is based on the learning outcomes, behavioral traits of the child. We also have another checklist, which is for the parents, and that is called as the Lakshya Vedika. And this Lakshya Vedika is to track the learning outcome for the behavior of the child, which is used for inculcating the good habits at home. And then this personal discussion with the parents is also done for the same thing. Okay. Now I request Bhagyashri to explain about the working educator, to explain about the parents' participation in the school.
Namaste. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Mrs. Bhagyashri Kailas Dandgavhal, working as an educator since past 7 years in Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya. I am here to explain you about the partnership with parents. As we all know, parents and family are co-partners and important stakeholder in students' learning development. Teacher and parents play equal role in education process. Jnana Prabodhini is known for its exceptional involvement of parents in various school activities, which indirectly contributes in overall development of students. We have participation of parents in 3 aspects, that are educational, cultural, and social. Next slide, please. In educational aspect, parents with specific talent or skill make a contribution in our day-to-day student beneficial activities, like additional added in handling small group activities, field trips, etc. Our regular practice includes communication with parents, monthly feedback meetings. Learning needs to be reinforced and complemented at home too. For that, parental support is taken for the same in form of videos and photos. Next is our cultural aspect. In cultural aspect, active participation of parents is taken for festive celebrations and annual day. Activities like Geeta Pathan, Atharva Shishya Pathan are also organized for parents. In social aspect, Prabodhini's Parents Association is working for social development in many ways, with activities like tree plantation, plastic collection camps, and free health checkups, etc. With all these activities, parents get connected to the school and to the tradition and culture of our motherland. Next slide, please. These are some glimpses of activities for parents we have taken. Activities like rice plantation, Atharva Shirsha Pathan, lantern making workshop, parent gathering, visit to special school, field visit with parents, parents health checkup, and parents sports event. Next slide. Our next exemplary practice is home visits. Home visit of the student is one of the key to create and strengthen the bond of parents, teachers, and students. This also helps to encourage the involvement of all family members to all-round development of child. Proper training is given to teachers for home visit. Records of home visit are maintained and is forwarded to next class teacher so that she can help to the students accordingly. Teachers make sure that they complete all students' home visit within the academic year. I would like to share experience about the same of an hyperactive child. By his tantrums, he used to create chaos in the class. After the home visit and a talk with his grandparents, we identified that he was over pampered by his grandparents. Regular talk with grandparents and parents helped us to channelize his energy in proper way. The outcome reflected in the stable behavior of that child. I would like to share one more experience of a very introvert child in the class. After home visit, we could develop a good rapport with the family, which helped us to make strong bond with the family. And the student, she started expressing herself in the class after that. That is the outcome of our home visits. Now next is parent orientation. Parenting is very important and responsible task to be done. Being a parent, we are busy in our day-to-day life and the child gets ignored. Many times, parents lack information and support needed for good parenting. Considering this fact, we have monthly parent orientation guided by expertise people in that particular field. These orientations are organized to create awareness about various aspects of child development like emotional development, intellectual development, physical and motor skill development, child health development, and art development. Next slide, please. List of topics under this objective you can see over here. Importance of communication, role of parent in education, happy parenting, child nutrition and health, create interest in art, importance of sports and exercise, language development through songs and stories, and so on. Now, I request Aarati Dai to sum up our presentation.
So, Geeta ma'am, here we are with the outcomes. Actually, what we try to achieve through all this platter, and what does ECCE mean to us? Before we go to the outcome, any questions, Geeta ma'am? Or shall I come to?
You complete the outcome, then I'm going to start talking.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
There are a lot of questions to ask.
Yes, sure, why not? Through all these processes, what we try to ultimately achieve is, and what does ECCE, we aim at ECCE? It is a smooth transition for the child from the home to the school. And we try to create a sound foundation for the physical motor development of each child as per his own potentials. We try to stimulate his intellectual curiosity. What we try to give opportunities for him to investigate, experiment, and explore his own potentials. Nowadays, in this NEP, we are talking about the 21st century skills. And what are these 4 C's? And how at Prabodhini we are working at it. It is all about creativity, collaboration, cooperation, and communication. We try to, it is a smooth transition of the child from the pre-primary section to the primary section. This is all we try ultimately to achieve at. We want him to have a very artistic approach, like a sense of appreciation about art. This is all what is all on our plan. And the most important aspect about this triangle, as we have seen, we have a lot of activities for the students, for the parents as well. But the most important factor I would like to share about this. Next slide, please. Yes, the work culture, that is the most important aspect again in Prabodhini. We try to develop the competencies of the teacher. To drive all this important, the stakeholder teacher needs to be groomed also as a caregiver, because we know that these small young children, for the first time, they're out of the home and in a community where they need somebody whom to be loved or somebody as a caregiver. And so we train the teachers that way. With the professional development of teachers, we arrange many skill training programs. The teachers are updated with the technical skills through in-house training programs. Content training is there, which includes designing activities, preparing skill sheets, teaching aids, and much more. Others, we also plan other school visits, which we are going to do experiments, which are latest updated. Our school senior authorities have been throughout India last 3 years ago, and they visited many schools in Delhi, in Bangalore, in Vadodara, and much more things. We try to develop their leadership qualities also as well. The teachers are nourished with the leadership qualities by giving them opportunities to work as program leaders. We also, the most important thing about is the well-being of the teacher. If the teacher herself is a very cool and calm personality, the same could be nurtured to the kids also. For the well-being of the teacher, we work as Upasana. Upasana is an important aspect of Prabodhini. We read articles about child nourishment, child care. We read many books. We share thoughts. We read research articles in our weekly meetings, and this is all a part of our regular practice. It also includes sharing classroom experiences, sharing personal thoughts, personal experiences in about personal life also. So this all creates a bonding between the teachers, and they try to work as a teamwork. Teamwork is an important aspect in Prabodhini. We always focus on team building for parents, for students, for teachers as well. And next important thing is a support system. We all ladies, we all know that we always are on our toes, and we need a good strong support system at home as well as in the school. So we have this as in our platter also, because we have monthly feedback systems, reporting to the authorities, personal talks with the HODs. We have a very good mentoring systems for the teachers also. And mentoring is an ongoing process for the teachers. They are free to open to share their personal views also with the HODs. This is all how we groom our teachers. As you have seen that we have, I guess we are very much clear what things we have on our platter for the students, for the parents, and for the teachers as well. Because we need
What happened?
I think we lost.
Yeah. Yeah, just at the last moment.
I think we just wait. There must be some technical reason.
Yeah. Yeah, just at the last minute. Everything was going so smooth.
Yeah, we better.
And I
call
can
them.
see questions. I can see questions also in the
Just wait.
YouTube.
There must be some technical.
Grishma, why don't you call and find out whoever has the number?
I just called. They are connecting. They're connecting back.
Everything was going so smooth.
Yeah, better.
And I can see questions. I can see questions also in the YouTube.
There must be some technical.
Aarati, are you back?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, there was a bandwidth issue with us. Yes, we are back.
Yeah, continue.
So, ma'am, this
Grishma,
was all on our
continue.
platform, as I said.
Grishma,
It's on the you, Geeta ma'am.
Yes, we can continue.
continue. Na? Aarati and her team. My God, you people were in such a flow, so beautifully presented, and your PPTs were so clear that we felt we were walking through your school. Though there were so many questions coming up in the mind, but I waited till the end so that all could go through and the questions kept creeping up. I'm sure the audience also must have seen and enjoyed every little slide that you showed. Towards children, your management's attitude all reflects such beautifully programmed culture that you have in your school. But I still would like to know, I'm sure you must have had some challenges while doing these exemplary practices in your school. Would you like to share some of the challenges you went through just before it became so smooth and so impactful?
Yes, ma'am. When it is all about any institution, we do face many challenges. And we are there in this field of education, Navnagar Vidyalaya, since 1981. So when we started with one classroom, and if you have seen in the first slide, it is such huge in premises of 4 acres. We had faced challenges. For pre-primary section, it was all about these days we are speaking about inclusion in the field of education. So we had some special skills. We still have currently in our school some special child which needs to be handled with love and care. But we have the problem of unacceptance from the child, from the part of the parents, as they are not ready. So we do have some shadow teachers for them. The second challenge we faced was about the record keeping, as you have seen the assessment part. And we have so many things to be maintained of. It is the anecdotal record, it is the checklist, and keeping records, taking information from parents. And so many things the teacher need to work on. So we actually have to train teachers, we have to motivate them for the assessment part because it was really very important task for us. And the third important aspect was about the motivation in the teachers. As we all are working in the field of education, we know that motivation, if the teacher is there in this field by passion, she gives it 100%. So this motivation aspect is more focused on Prabodhini. So we arrange more workshops for motivations also. So these are the challenges we had faced.
That's wonderful to know because none of the organizations can become so successful without the challenges. And the way you people have done micro planning for every little aspect of your institution, right from Balwadi to higher classes, it's amazing. And it inspires us to realize that in a day of 24 hours, which all of us get, so much can be done to bring in the best in the field of education, and more so for pre-primary education, which is the building block of a human being and of the society. I'm so happy to hear, and I'm sure the audience also must have been glued to the screen to look at the little things. I can already see some wonderful comments coming on the YouTube. I would like to read one to you. How beautifully each child does number value differently. Believe me, even I was watching it and looking at it and seeing so much of freedom is given to a child, where a child can put the number 3 the way he wants, whether it is horizontal, whether it is vertical. We adults are so good at going and guiding the kids. ऐसा मत करो, ऐसा करना, ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा होता है. Block कर देते हैं. I really loved the way you people have given the freedom to the children to do things so beautifully. I'm sure there are a lot of questions coming up in the minds of the audience, and we can now open the discussion if the audience would like to know something more from you. Your presentation was very clear, very apt, and very timely. Thank you, Team Aarati, for giving us such a beautiful exposure about your school. If there are questions, I can see a few questions. Can I read it out to them, Aarti?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
One comment comes, life skill activities, there is no gender discrimination. In today's times, it is so important to start it from the beginning at an early age, that all of us are equal. Instead of fighting at the later years of our youth, it is better to train our little ones about equality so that the next generation can live a peaceful life. What
Ma'am,
impressed yeah.
I will address this
Yes.
is that in a concept note for ECC, this is one of the important aspects which we are focusing on. Like there will be gender
Absolutely.
equality in our education system.
That is so true. And with the new curriculum coming up, the NCF coming up with so many activity-based programs, I think many of us already are into that mode of giving child-centric education with a lot of emphasis on children to do their activities, and we as facilitators are there to look around. There is a comment which says, commendable all-round development of young minds grounded with the society. It is so good to hear such positive comments, which indicates that your presentation and the way you have shown things to the world is so clear that we can actually have a glimpse of it. What impressed me was the Shanti Path. The Shanti Path is something which is so required in today's time. None of us, neither we nor the children, are in the mode of Shanti. When we once walk into the school, there's so much of jaldi karo, so much to do. But we've learned a lesson. I'm sure the audience also has learned a lesson that jaldi karo karne ke baad thoda shanti chahiye usko absorb karne ke liye. So I'm sure most of us in the audience have learned this lesson and would like to imbibe this particular program in our own schools with whatever understanding we have about it. And your station rotation model was also very, very nice. It is so good to see that the children, I'm sure, must be looking forward for every day, but most for the Friday, because they get so much of opportunity to move around, go to meet people. It was so nice to see this. There's a question, Aarti, which is from Vivekananda Youth Forum. What is the medium of instruction in your school?
Yes, ma'am. We have both mediums of instructions in our school. It is Marathi as well as in English. So
and both the groups have this similar kind of curriculum, similar
yes,
plan.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Another question is how
NEP is
one more
focusing
question. Yes, Aarti.
The education in mother tongue or the regional languages also. This is an important aspect of NEP. So we have for this younger kid, though we run English medium school also, but the mode of instructions for the school in the school is practiced by the teachers is both Marathi as well as in English. To make them more homely, more comfortable in mother tongue, we focus it on Marathi.
So even in the English medium group of children, you will initially start with mother tongue so that they've built a rapport with all of you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's excellent. In fact, with the new NCF coming up with openness for language, somewhere we are a little relieved. In spite of being English medium schools, we can definitely communicate with our children in the beginning of the childhood, where we can connect with them in any language and at the same time make the child feel friendly. And over a period of time, we have a lot of time to develop the language skills in English. There's one question which is asked by Vivekananda Youth Forum, which says, how long do you deal with parents? How do you deal with parents who want writing to be more formal? A very good question, because I think most of the schools, the parents want to know, kitna sikhaya, kitna ABCD sikhaya, खाली राइम करा रहे हो, खाली ड्राइंग करा रहे हो, खाली एक्टिविटी करा रहे हो, तो बच्चा पढ़ेगा लिखेगा कब? What is your answer to that?
Ma'am, in our parent orientation programs, we have a special session on this. How writing should not be started at an early age. The pre-writing skills are more focused in the school so that the gross motor skills and the fine motor skills of the child are developed much more better, and he writes very well in the primary section. So we have, and we make it our policies, like we have made a handbook for parents So our monthly syllabus has been conveyed to the parents where we pre-literacy skills of the child. It is about reading, it is about speaking, it is about listening, are more focused on. And writing is the last step in the language. So we have convinced the parents very well and they are being as a supportive for the same to us.
Yeah, Aarati, I completely agree with you. LSRW is the way the language is learnt. But unless we have parental orientation and unless we explain these things to the parents, it becomes a little difficult to handle such situations. But yes, once you are in sync with the parents and make them understand that we don't have to compare our schools with other schools where reading, writing, and homework is so important, because the outcome of LSRW, where we start with listening, speaking, reading, and writing, if we go through that method, I'm sure the outcomes are going to be different. So all of us have learned a lesson that parental orientation and keeping parents along with us as partners is so important. I have a lot of questions still coming up, a lot of congratulations messages, a lot of appreciation messages I can see here. Beautiful activities you have planned. Do you have one very interesting question? Do you have annual concert, sports day, and other yearly grand events?
Ma'am, I would like to share this with a big honor that we have sports day, not only for the students, but we have it for parents. As I told you earlier that Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya is a school of 2,400 students. So for the sports day of parents, we have participation. About 1,000 parents are there on the ground arranging different competitions for the parents. So it is a sports event managed by parents and for parents.
Wow, that's beautiful. Really wonderful to know this. I can also see a comment from a parent who's your parent, and she's so happy to claim that I'm a proud parent of Jnana Prabodhini. It's all about new learning, and along with my child, as we parents are learning and developing ourselves as a person. I'm sure it is music to your ears, listening from your own parent. And for us, it's a beautiful statement which vouches for all the things that you presented over here. I'm so glad that you shared all of it without keeping it anything to yourself. And I'm sure the audience would have learned so many beautiful small ideas, because we as educators of preschool, we keep experimenting, we keep learning, experimenting, learning, sharing. But after every program that gets over or I attend it, I feel there's always some learning which we can carry back with us. So good to hear such beautiful answers to the questions that has come up. Would the audience, Grishma, would you want to unmute anybody to ask anything, or it's getting time up? Purnima ma'am, would you want to answer something or ask something?
I think Rekha wanted to ask.
Yes, Rekha ma'am.
Rekha had some question.
Yeah, I was just wondering that is Shanti part a daily activity? And I was also wanting to know that station rotation, is there any particular reason it's done only once in a week? Can it not be done more often? What is the rationale for just once in a week?
Station rotation, as I've mentioned it earlier, like it is a activity-based learning is a regular practice. But for station rotation, we need special arrangements to be done for the students. So this needs time. To arrange an activity for the whole mob of students needs lot of efforts, infrastructural issues also. So station rotation model is a practice that could be done only once in a week. Because as you know that we have so many things on the platter. So it is on our plan, it is once in a week.
So Aarati, the station rotation activities which are done once, the station rotation activities which are done once in a week, are the similar activities repeated in your regular curriculum in the class?
No, ma'am. Those activities are not repeated in the classroom
So
structure.
at the end of the day or at the end of the term, do you find that exposing them to once in a week is enough for their repetitive outcomes or their learning outcomes?
I would like to mention about it more in detail. By example is like if planning an activity for in the station rotation is the first week we plan to engage the child where the teacher introduces it. In the second week we plan to have relevant activities about it, and in the third week we plan to give challenges in that, and in the fourth we try to interlink it with all other aspects also. So one activity at 4 levels has been planned for the child.
So the micro planning is very, very important.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
very focused planning that you people do. And
Yes.
there is a question which somebody wants to know, how many children do you have in your class, each class? What is the teacher-child ratio?
Ma'am, 22:1 is the PTR, pupil teacher ratio.
So in a class of section, you have 22 children and one teacher handling the entire
Yes, and there is,
curriculum.
yes. We have one special art teacher also who keeps on rotating us from one class to another, who's a special skill teacher in that field.
Okay. Somebody would like to know, how do you handle special need children? Do you have some? Or if you have, then how do you handle them?
Ma'am, currently we are having 3 special need students in the section now, and we have one special teacher for them who is attending only them.
Yeah. Okay, so you do admit children with special need, or later on you realize that the children have some disability, but you continue
Yes.
giving them. Do you have a
Yes,
special
ma'am.
educator or a counselor in your school?
Yes, ma'am. We have a counselor in our school who deals with all these things. So we have appointed one different teacher for special needs.
All right. Is there any other question coming up, Grishma? Rekha ma'am, you have any more questions?
There is one question from Swati ma'am about music. Ma'am, we in our assembly itself, we have a special music teacher in the section also. As I said, we have an art teacher, then we have a music teacher who is an eminent teacher in that field, and there we have it in the assembly, who gives exposure to different like music. As you know, music works as a therapy also, and as we have said in Shanti part also. So this music teacher works for these kids in a very exclusive manner.
Okay.
The next question is about, is music done every day? We have music periods specially planned in the timetable twice a week for each class.
All right. Any more question the audience has? Grishma, have we looked into all the...
No, I don't think. I don't see any more questions, ma'am.
Yeah, I think most of the questions have been very well answered by Aarati. Now that we are running short of time and we are almost through with the event, I would sincerely like to thank AECED for inviting such a wonderful team, and a special thanks to all the 3 of you and your management, where Jnana Prabodhini is really coming up with beautiful program. There are a lot of questions that I see in the YouTube where people want to know, how will you reach out your program to the entire country? Is there another Jnana Prabodhini school at Jaipur? All these questions will come because your presentation was so clear, your sharing was so good, and the kind of things that you people do in the classrooms are so easy, effective, and affordable. Is used from the environment, and the micro planning with which you are doing your program is probably the main cause of success. So we all go back with a very, very happy feeling of having learned so many small things from all of you, in spite of many of us being in this field for a very long time. So with a happy heart, let me thank each one of you from your team, the AECED core team who's been behind this program for such a long time, especially Grishma, Purnima ma'am, Meera ma'am, Vrinda ma'am, all of you have been such a strong support system. And I'm sure we are going to look forward to many more such programs in the Spotlight webinar. Thank you, audience. Thank you for taking out your time from your busy schedule, yet your energy level to learn new things is always appreciated. And people like you in the audience make our AECD programs successful and eventful. Hoping to see you more in number in our next events where we would want to connect with all of you. There are a lot of small learning.
Ma'am, am I audible? We, on the behalf of Jnana Prabodhini, thank Geeta ma'am, Purnima ma'am for this opportunity for sharing our practices and making it nationwide. So, my heartfelt gratitude to you all. I thank Mrs. Anuja Bhandari also for sharing our presentation with us, who is a part of our team.
Great work.
Was I audible?
Yes, yes. Thank you,
Yes, yes.
Aarti.
The presentation was very